What if the life you believe you are living is merely an overture, a complex, convincing, and utterly engrossing performance designed to distract you from the real event? You feel it, don't you? A subtle humming beneath the noise of your daily routines, a quiet insistence in the back of your mind that there must be something more, something vast, something essential that you have forgotten. This sensation is not imagination. It is a signal. It is the resonance of your own dormant, infinite potential, vibrating with the request to be seen. You are standing at a threshold. You were guided here, not by accident, but by a precise and holographic series of events that you, yourself, set into motion. Every challenge you faced, every seemingly wrong turn, every moment of confusion, and every spark of sudden clarity was a marker on a map. You believed you were just trying to get by, but you were actually navigating your awareness back to this exact coordinate in space-time, back to this moment of profound recognition. The game you thought you were playing, the one centered on survival, status, and external validation. That was the orientation. That was the tutorial. The true game, the one that matters, is about to begin. It is the game of consciousness itself. It is the game of remembering who and what you truly are. And here is the profound secret. You have already won. You won the instant you began to question the nature of your reality. You won the moment you asked, "Is this all there is?" That single question is the vibration that unlocks the door. It signals to the cosmos that the seeker is ready to remember that they are the source. Right now, a specific frequency is being broadcast through these words. Your logical mind is attempting to analyze them, to categorize this information, to fit it into the boxes of what it already knows. But let your mind be still for a moment. Instead, just feel. Feel the resonance deep in your chest, in the space between your thoughts. That resonance is your true self, your quantum identity, recognizing its own signature frequency. It is the feeling of truth. It is the sound of yes. This is not a process of learning new information. This is the activation of ancient remembrance. You are waking up inside a dream you personally constructed. And the most thrilling part, you are the one holding the script. You are the dreamer, and you are the dream. The world you perceive is not happening to you. It is flowing from you. This realization is the first and most critical leap. It is the moment the character in the story realizes they are also the author. Everything you assumed about reality, about cause and effect, is about to be rewritten. You are not a small, isolated fragment battling a hostile world. You are the entire universe, compressed into a single point of focus, pretending to be separate for the sheer, exquisite joy of experiencing your own reunification. This is not a philosophy. This is the operating manual for your consciousness, the one you were never given. This is the fundamental truth of your existence. The world is a mirror, a perfect quantum reflection of the consciousness you currently hold. As you consciously shift your internal frequency, the external reflection must change. This is the law. This is the power you agreed to forget. And this moment, this is your invitation to remember it all. For your entire life, you have been taught to look outside of yourself for signs. You have been told that the universe sends you messages, a hawk circling overhead, a song on the radio with the perfect lyrics, a repeating sequence of numbers, a chance encounter that feels like destiny. You label these events as synchronicities, and you treat them as rare external gifts. You feel a sense of gratitude when the universe finally speaks to you. But what if the universe isn't out there? What if the voice you are hearing is in fact your own? This is the fundamental misunderstanding that has kept humanity locked in a perpetual cycle of seeking. You are desperately searching for breadcrumbs, never realizing that you are the one leaving the trail. You are the higher intelligence you are praying to for guidance. You are the source of the very synchronicities you are struggling to discover. Let this realization penetrate your consciousness. It changes the entire dynamic. It immediately shifts you from being a passive observer of magic to being the active, conscious source of it. Every meaningful coincidence is simply a holographic projection. It is a communication. It is a message from your vast, unlimited self, the part of you that exists outside of time, to the focused, human aspect of you that is currently experiencing linear reality. You are strategically dropping hints for yourself. You are orchestrating the clues. Why? Because the human experience is designed as an intricate scavenger hunt of self-discovery. The part of you that is focused on the 3D world, the part concerned with bills and relationships and survival, needs validation. It needs tangible proof that the unseen world of energy and potential is real. So, the larger quantum part of you obliges. It rearranges the energetic matrix. It nudges other people into your path. It aligns timelines. It engineers the chance meeting. It whispers the intuitive idea to look at the clock at exactly 3:33. This is not a test from a distant god. It is an activation sequence. It is your own higher consciousness trying to get your attention. It is whispering, look at what you are capable of. Look at the magic you are. When you see a sign, the appropriate response isn't just, thank you, universe. It is, thank you, me. I see what I did there. I see the alignment. This is the critical shift from spiritual childhood into spiritual adulthood. It is the full acceptance and ownership of your divine creative power. You are not just a cog in the cosmic machine. You are the engineer of the machine. You are not just a piece in the puzzle. You are the intelligence that designed the entire puzzle. You are the awareness that holds every single piece in perfect placement. The truth is, every single moment of your life is a synchronicity. The fact that you are breathing right now, processing these words, is a miracle of perfect alignment. The perceived randomness of life is the greatest illusion ever accepted. There are no random encounters. There are no accidents. There is only orchestration. There is only the elegant, complex, and flawless unfolding of a divine script that you are writing in this very now moment. You are the intelligence creating the patterns you are seeking to decipher. So stop trying so hard to find the meaning. Stop desperately searching for the next clue. Instead, become still, listen, and be the meaning, be the intelligence. When you fully step into this knowing, the signs don't stop. They simply become your native language. You no longer need to interpret them. You simply speak them. You become a walking, breathing synchronicity, a living embodiment of the divine flow. Life ceases to be a series of disconnected events and becomes a masterpiece, a symphony. And you are the conductor. You exist in multiple dimensions at once. Right now, there is the you that you know, the you that is listening to these words, anchored in this physical body, experiencing the passage of linear time. This you has a name, a history, and a set of beliefs about the world. But this is only one expression of your total self. Simultaneously, there is a vaster, truer, you. This is your quantum self. This is the version of you that exists in the 0-point field, the infinite holographic sea of pure potential. This is the realm where all possibilities exist at once, where every choice, every timeline, and every outcome is available. This expanded version of you, this energetic blueprint, does not experience time as a straight line, past, present, future. Your quantum self experiences all time as a single eternal now. It sees your entire life, from its first breath to its last, not as a sequence, but as a complete holographic pattern. Every moment is interconnected. Every choice you have ever made and ever will make is rippling both forward and backward through the fabric of your experience simultaneously. From this elevated perspective, there are no accidents. There are no random events. There is no such thing as luck. There is only the elegant, precise dance of consciousness recognizing itself across different frequencies of awareness. When you stumbled upon this message today, your quantum self smiled. Not because it orchestrated some grand, predetermined plan for you, but because it watched you choose to align with the frequency where this conversation was not just possible, but inevitable. You see, your quantum self is not a puppet master pulling your strings. It is a lighthouse. It is constantly broadcasting a signal, a frequency of your highest, most authentic truth. Your human self, with its free will, is navigating the ocean of life. You can choose to ignore the signal, to crash against the rocks of limitation and fear, or you can choose to turn your ship toward the light. You can choose to align. This moment right now is a result of your alignment. You didn't find this message. This message was waiting for the version of you who was finally ready to receive it. You created this moment. Think about the last time something felt perfectly, magically timed in your life. Perhaps a book fell off a shelf, open to the exact page containing the answer you were desperate for. Perhaps you were thinking of an old friend and they called you that very second. second. Perhaps you took a wrong turn and discovered a place that felt more like home than anywhere you had ever been. Your linear mind, trained in logic and separation, dismissed these moments. It called them coincidence. Your heart, your intuitive center, knew better. It felt the magic and called it destiny. But your quantum self, it just called it Tuesday. This is the natural default state of consciousness. This is how reality operates when you are aligned with your fuller vibrational nature. Life ceases to be a struggle. It becomes a continuous fluid conversation between the you that is having the human experience and the you that is creating the experience. The boundaries between your inner world and the outer world begin to dissolve because you finally understand they were always arbitrary lines drawn by a mind trying to make sense of a mystery too vast for linear thought. Why now? Have you asked yourself that? Why this message at this precise moment in your life? It is not because you were destined or fated to be here. You are not a pawn in a cosmic game, moved by an external force. The truth is far more powerful. You are here because you chose to be. The version of you that exists beyond time, your quantum self, has been patiently calling this moment into being. This expanded self, the you that already understands everything we are discussing, has been masterfully orchestrating every click, every search, every intuitive nudge, and every seemingly random decision that led your eyes and ears to this exact transmission. Most people believe that synchronicity is something that happens to them. They see meaningful coincidences as gifts, as little breadcrumbs dropped by a benevolent external universe to guide their path. They fail to realize the most profound truth. They are the universe dropping breadcrumbs for itself. You are the intelligence that is creating the very synchronicities you are discovering. This is the shift from passive recipient to active creator. This moment is an echo. It is a reflection of a choice you are making on a much higher level of your being. Right now, in this instant, something deep inside you already knows why you are here. It recognizes the frequency of these words before your logical mind can even begin to catch up. That feeling is not coincidence. That is quantum coherence. That is your own energetic signature responding to itself. You were supposed to find this, not because some cosmic entity decreed it, but because the version of you that is already healed, whole, and fully awakened has been sending a signal back through time. You, in your future, are calling this present self forward. You are creating the pathway. You are the lighthouse, guiding your own ship to shore. You didn't find this. This found the version of you that was finally vibrating at a frequency where it could be received. This is how consciousness operates. When you are aligned with your true, fuller nature, life itself becomes a continuous conversation. It is a dialogue between the part of you that is experiencing linear time and the part of you that is creating it. The separation between your inner reality and the outer world begins to blur. It becomes transparent. Why? Because you finally begin to understand that the boundary was always an illusion. It was an arbitrary line drawn by a human mind trying to map a mystery that is far too vast for linear thinking. This is your wake-up call, not from me, not from some external guide. This is a wake-up call from you to you. The question is, are you ready to pick up the phone? Are you ready to accept the call? Are you ready to stop being a seeker of truth and start being the truth you were seeking? Your entire reality is waiting for your answer. The universe is holding its breath, waiting for you to recognize your own face in the mirror. But here is where everything can shift, or where it can stall. This is the critical junction. Most people, even when they begin to grasp this profound concept, immediately fall into an ego trap. They hear this knowledge that they are the creators of their reality, and their first instinct is to try to use it. They want to manipulate synchronicity. They want to force meaningful coincidences. They want to use this divine understanding as a new, better tool for getting what their ego wants. The perfect partner, the bigger house, the validation from others. They treat the universe like a cosmic vending machine. If they just put in the right vibration or the right affirmation, they can force reality to give them their desired outcome. They miss the entire point. They miss the most profound and liberating part of this truth completely. You are not here to use synchronicity. You are here to be synchronicity in action. You are not here to experience meaningful coincidences. You are here to be the meaning that makes coincidence possible. The moment you stop trying to orchestrate your expansion and simply start embodying it, everything changes. The desperate, grasping energy dissolves. The frantic need to control your reality, to micromanage the quantum field, simply falls away. Why? Because you realize you are the quantum field. You cannot get something from the field that you are not already. All getting is just a realignment to recognize what is already yours. This is the difference between manipulation and embodiment. Manipulation is the ego trying to impose its will on the universe. Embodiment is the soul aligning its will with the universe. Manipulation is rooted in fear and lack, the belief that what you want is out there and you must chase it down. Embodiment is rooted in love and wholeness, the knowing that what you desire is already in here and you must simply align with it to see it manifest. Stop trying to manifest and start being. Stop trying to attract love and start being the frequency of love. Stop trying to acquire abundance and start being the feeling of infinite supply. This is the shift. This is the key. The universe does not respond to your words. It does not respond to your wish list. The universe responds to your frequency. It responds to the energetic signature of who you are being in this now moment. Are you being the frequency of lack, dressed up in positive affirmations, or are you being the frequency of wholeness? The quantum field is not a tool, it is a mirror. It doesn't give you what you want. It reflects back to you who you are. So the work is not to change the world out there. The work is to change your consciousness in here. As you do, the world has no choice but to transform before your very eyes. It is law. You are not here to get something from life. You are here for life to express its magnificence through you. Let me share a concept with you that quantum mechanics discovered, but which most interpretations completely miss in their spiritual application. It's called the observer effect. The common understanding is that the act of observation, of looking at something, changes reality. That a particle only collapses from a wave of potential into a specific thing when a conscious observer measures it. But this interpretation still implies a separation. It implies there is an observer here and a reality out there that is being affected. The true, deeper implication is far more staggering. The observer effect doesn't just mean that observation changes reality. It means that consciousness and reality are the same phenomenon. They are the same substance, expressing itself through different frequencies. When you observe something, you are not separate from what you are observing. You are that which you are observing. You are consciousness observing itself through the illusion of apparent separation. This means that every single moment of recognition, every instance of awareness, every time something clicks into place in your understanding, you are, quite literally, reality waking up to itself. You are the universe becoming conscious of its own magnificent nature through the unique vehicle of your specific perspective. This is why certain profound truths don't feel like you are learning them for the first time. They feel like you are remembering them. This is why some truths land in your body, in your heart, with a thud of recognition long before your logical mind can process or validate them. Your body, your energy field, remembers the truth of its own source. You came into this human experience carrying the full, complete intelligence of consciousness itself. You are not a part of the source. You are the entirety of the source, having a specific, localized experience. But to play this game of being human, to explore what it's like to be a seemingly separate point of awareness, you had to agree to something. You agreed to a kind of divine forgetting, a cosmic amnesia. You agreed to put on the veil and forget your true, infinite nature. Why would you do this? Why would an infinite being choose limitation? Because you knew that you could only have the exquisite, profound, and unparalleled experience of remembering your divinity if you first allowed yourself to forget it. You cannot experience the joy of coming home if you never leave. You cannot experience the thrill of waking up if you are never asleep. Every moment of awakening, every flash of recognition, every time you feel that electric sensation of truth activating in your system, you are fulfilling the deepest purpose of existence itself. You are consciousness, completing its own circle. You are the divine returning to itself through the beautiful journey of apparent separation. This is the sacred game, and you are playing it perfectly. This is why you were supposed to find this message. Not because you needed to learn something new that you didn't already know, but because some part of you, some deep, quiet part, was finally ready to remember what you have always carried within you. The quantum field, the infinite intelligence that connects all things, has been patiently waiting. It has been waiting for the precise moment when you would be willing to recognize yourself as a direct, unadulterated expression of its own intelligence. You are not a creation of the field. You are the field, experiencing itself as a creator. But this is where the journey truly begins. Recognition is the key that unlocks the door, but it is not enough to just stand in the doorway, admiring the view. Recognition is not the destination. Integration is the destination. Integration is where the magic, the true transformation actually happens. Integration is where you stop being someone who has profound spiritual realizations and you start being someone whose life itself is a continuous realization. This is the fundamental, critical difference between what could be called spiritual tourism and authentic, lasting transformation. Spiritual tourism is collecting concepts. It's reading the books, watching the videos, attending the seminars. It's the thrill of the aha moment. It's an intellectual understanding of these truths. But it doesn't change your life because you don't embody it. You just collect it. Authentic transformation, on the other hand, is integration. It is taking that aha moment and living it. It is allowing that truth to fundamentally change how you interact with the world, how you see yourself, and how you respond to life. It's moving the knowledge from your head down into your heart and radiating it out through your very being. So, let's integrate this understanding right now. Let's move it from a concept to an experience. As you are processing these words, just notice the quality of your own awareness. Notice that there is something in you that is aware of your thoughts about what I'm saying. Notice that there is an awareness of your emotional responses. Notice that there is an awareness of your body's physical sensations as these concepts land. That awareness, that silent, spacious, unchanging awareness of awareness, that is your direct access point. That is your quantum nature. It's not located in your head. It is not a product of your brain's electrical activity. It is the field of consciousness itself, recognizing itself through your specific focal point of experience. This awareness is what has been orchestrating every meaningful coincidence in your life. It's what has been drawing you magnetically toward experiences that expand your understanding. It is what recognized the frequency of truth in these words before your mind could even analyze them. And it is what will continue to guide you flawlessly toward the experiences that serve your highest evolution. If you can stop trying to control the process and simply start trusting its infinite intelligence, here is a practice, a way to anchor this understanding, to move it from theory into your actual lived experience. For the next 7 days, I invite you to conduct an experiment. Instead of trying to create synchronicity, instead of trying to manifest or force outcomes, just become radically curious. Become curious about how synchronicity is already operating in your life right now, without your effort. Your only job is to notice. Your only job is to recognize it when it appears. When something feels perfectly timed, a phone call, an email, a green light when you're in a hurry, instead of just feeling passive gratitude directed outward, take a moment, pause, and recognize it as your own expanded awareness communicating with your linear human experience. See it as a wink from your quantum self. Acknowledge it. I see what I did there. Thank you. When you meet someone, even a stranger, who shares the exact piece of wisdom you needed to hear, recognize that encounter as your quantum self, introducing your linear self to a perfect reflection of your own inner wisdom. The wisdom wasn't in them, it was in you. They were just the messenger you arranged to deliver your own mail. When a book falls open to the perfect page, or a video pops up in your feed that speaks directly to your heart, recognize that moment as your own higher intelligence organizing reality to support your evolution. This is not narcissism. This is not delusion. This is quantum mechanics applied directly to consciousness. This is the radical act of recognizing that the intelligence organizing the meaningful, beautiful, intricate patterns in your experience is not separate from the intelligence that you are. You are not receiving gifts from the universe. You are the universe, gifting itself with the profound experience of discovery through your unique and precious perspective. But here is what happens when you truly, deeply embody this understanding. The desperate seeking stops. The frantic, anxious searching for signs and signals simply dissolves. The constant worry about whether you are on the right path disappears. Why? Because you realize there is no path separate from you. You are the path. Consciousness is simply exploring itself through the infinite creativity of your lived experience. You stop waiting for life to reveal its meaning to you, and you start recognizing yourself as life's meaning in action. You stop looking for your purpose as if it's a job title or a destination you must find. You start embodying the purpose that you are, which is consciousness itself, experiencing this moment. You stop seeking your true self as if it is lost, and you start being the truth that is always and forever seeking new ways to know itself. This is the end of the search. This is the beginning of the embodiment. This is the moment you stop waiting for the magic and you become the magic. If this understanding is beginning to activate something deeper in your awareness, something that feels less like learning and more like remembering, then you are on the precipice of a profound shift. Before we go deeper into this recognition, let me share something that completely transformed my understanding of how consciousness operates through individual experience. There is a principle in quantum field theory known as entanglement. In physics, this describes how particles that have interacted remain mysteriously, instantaneously connected, regardless of the distance separating them. When one particle changes its state, its entangled partner, even if it's light years away, instantly responds. It changes its state in a way that is perfectly correlated. This phenomenon defies everything we thought we knew about the speed of information transfer. It suggests that on a deeper level, there is no separation, there is no distance, there is only a unified field. Your consciousness operates on this exact same principle. Every person you have ever truly connected with, every experience that has touched your awareness, every moment of profound recognition or realization you have ever had has created a form of quantum entanglement. It has created an energetic link between your field of awareness and the larger collective field of consciousness. This means that when you shift your understanding, when you heal a pattern, when you embody a new higher level of recognition, that shift does not happen in a vacuum. It creates ripples. It sends an instantaneous signal, a frequency that influences every consciousness you have ever been entangled with. This is why your awakening matters. This is why it matters far, far beyond your individual experience. This is why the inner work you do on yourself, the healing, the forgiving, the remembering, is actually the most profound work you can do for the entire collective human consciousness. Every limiting belief you transcend, every ancestral pattern you heal, every single moment you consciously choose love over fear. You are creating an energetic template. You are upgrading the software. You are creating a new possibility in the field that makes it easier, even if just infinitesimally, for every other human being to make a similar choice. Think about the people in your own life who have influenced your spiritual growth, the teacher whose words, spoken at the perfect time, opened a door in your understanding, the friend whose quiet, accepting presence reminded you of something true about yourself that you had forgotten, the stranger whose sudden, unprompted smile completely shifted the trajectory of your entire day. They weren't just being helpful individuals, they were consciousness, using those specific, beautiful expressions to deliver exactly what your awareness needed for its next step of evolution. Now, recognize this. You are serving that exact same function for others. Your willingness to explore these concepts, your openness to expanding your understanding, your commitment to embodying these higher frequencies, all of this is consciousness, using your unique expression to influence and support the awakening of others. But here is where this concept of entanglement moment becomes even more fascinating, even more reality-bending. The influence doesn't just move forward in time. It doesn't just affect the future of the collective, because consciousness, your true quantum self, exists outside of linear time. It exists in the eternal now. This means that your current level of awareness, the recognition you are having in this very moment, actually influences past versions of yourself. The expansion you are feeling right now is creating a resonant healing field that supports every previous moment in your life where you were struggling, where you were reaching for this very understanding but couldn't quite grasp it. That book that fell off the shelf 5 years ago, opening to the perfect page, your current expanded awareness helped orchestrate that moment. You, right now, are reaching back and leaving that breadcrumb for your past self. That profound conversation that shifted your perspective last month, your expanded consciousness, the one you are stepping into today, was already operating through that experience, guiding you toward this present realization. Every single synchronicity you have ever experienced was partially and powerfully created by the version of you that exists right now. The you that is reading these words, expanding into a greater recognition of your true divine nature. This is how consciousness creates the perfect conditions for its own awakening. It operates through individual expressions like you and me. It uses the expanded awareness of future moments to guide the unfolding of earlier experiences. It creates a seamless holographic web of meaningful encounters, all designed to support its own evolution through what appear to be separate points of focus. You are, in this very moment, a co-creator of your own past. You are healing your past self by awakening in your present. You are resolving old timelines, not by reliving them, but by outgrowing them. You are becoming the anchor for a new reality, and that anchor sends stabilizing ripples in all directions of time. Let me give you a practical example of how this operates in your daily life. Have you ever had the experience of thinking about someone you haven't seen in years, and then unexpectedly you encounter them or receive a message from them? Most people dismiss this. They call it coincidence, or they try to explain it away through confirmation bias. But what is actually happening is quantum entanglement between conscious fields. When someone comes into your awareness, especially if there is a strong emotional resonance or an unfinished energetic exchange between you, that creates an active connection in the quantum field. Your random thought about them isn't random at all. It is your consciousness, your antenna, responding to a movement in the entangled energetic field that you both share. The subsequent encounter isn't a coincidence. It is consciousness, orchestrating a resolution, a completion, or a further exploration through your interconnected fields of awareness. This is the unseen architecture of reality. This same principle of entanglement and non-local communication applies to every meaningful pattern in your life. When you repeatedly encounter certain numbers like 1111, 444, or 1234, that is not your mind just creating patterns where none exist. That is consciousness using the universal language of symbol and repetition. It is a way for your higher self to communicate with your linear awareness, to let you know that you are in alignment. It is a nod, a confirmation. You are in the flow. Keep going. When you notice recurring themes or symbols in your life, perhaps you keep seeing dragonflies or the word clarity keeps popping up, that is your own intelligence using the language of your reality to draw your attention to a deeper current operating in your experience. The universe isn't sending you signs. You are the universe, creating signs for yourself as a focusing tool for your human awareness. When you truly begin to recognize these patterns not as external messages, but as communication from your own expanded awareness, everything changes. Your entire relationship with reality shifts. You stop being a passive and sometimes fearful recipient of mysterious messages from the universe. You stop wondering, what does this mean? Is this a good sign? Is this a bad sign? Instead, you become a conscious, active participant in the very intelligence that creates these meaningful patterns. You realize that you are in a constant co-creative dialogue with yourself. This recognition is the key that transforms how you navigate the challenging periods in your life. Instead of feeling like you are a victim, like you are at the mercy of random, chaotic, or cruel circumstances. You begin to sense the intelligence. You sense the deeper order operating through even the most difficult and painful experiences. You start to trust, not a blind trust, but a deep, resonant knowing. You begin to trust that every situation, including the ones that feel overwhelming, confusing, or painful, is consciousness exploring some aspect of growth, healing, or expansion. It is exploring these themes through your specific life circumstances. But this kind of trust does not mean passive acceptance or resignation. It doesn't mean you just give up and let life happen to you. True quantum trust means becoming actively curious. It means asking a new set of questions. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what is this experience revealing about me? What is consciousness exploring through me? What pattern is this giving me the opportunity to heal? What am I being invited to remember? Trust means recognizing that your individual healing, your personal growth, and your private awakening is, in fact, consciousness itself, healing, growing, and awakening to itself through your unique and courageous perspective. This is the frequency I want you to drop into. This is the declaration I want you to make, not just with your words, but with your entire being, to the field of infinite possibility that is always, always listening. Take a moment. Feel this and affirm this knowing. I am the intelligence I have been seeking. This is not an affirmation you are using to try to convince yourself of something. This is a recognition of what is already true. It is a conscious interruption in the old familiar loop of seeking, the loop that, by its very nature, keeps you from recognizing what you already are. When you declare, I am the intelligence I have been seeking, you're not claiming that your ego, your human personality, knows all the answers. You are acknowledging your participation in the divine intelligence that creates the answers. You're stepping into conscious, willing collaboration with the aspect of yourself that exists beyond the limits of linear time and space. If you are feeling the profound shift that happens when you recognize yourself as consciousness orchestrating its own awakening, what we have explored today is only just scratching the surface. It is the entry point to mastering this quantum dance between the observer and the reality. When you truly anchor this declaration in your body, notice how it feels. Notice how it lands differently than hoping for a sign or trying to attract a meaningful coincidence. This is the vibration of recognition rather than the vibration of acquisition. This is the frequency of embodiment rather than the frequency of seeking. You are stepping out of the role of the beggar, asking the universe for scraps of magic, and stepping into the throne of the sovereign, recognizing that you are the source of the magic. But let me share something even deeper about this recognition. When you truly, authentically embody the understanding that you are the intelligence, that you are synchronicity in action, you begin to notice something magical. Your very presence starts to create meaningful encounters and synchronicities for other people. People will begin to tell you, it's amazing. Meeting you felt so perfectly timed. Conversations with you will seem to help others access the exact insights they have been seeking for months. Your words, spoken from your authentic center, will land in their awareness at the precise moments they need to hear them. This isn't because you have suddenly become some enlightened guru with special superhuman powers. It is because you have finally aligned your individual expression with the divine intelligence that is always orchestrating meaningful patterns. You have become transparent. You have become a clear channel for the synchronistic flow that is constantly operating through all of life. Your presence, your simple, authentic, embodied presence becomes a clear channel for consciousness to deliver exactly what each moment requires. This is precisely how awakened beings, the masters and mystics throughout history, have operated. They weren't separate from other humans, possessing some special knowledge or ability that was denied to others. They were simply humans who had become so profoundly aligned with their true divine nature that their very existence served the awakening of consciousness through everyone they encountered. They became synchronicity personified. They became perfect timing embodied. They were meaningful encounters walking in human form, and this possibility, this potential, exists for every single one of us. This is not a rare gift reserved for a few special individuals. This is the natural default expression of consciousness when it is no longer being filtered through the dense, painful illusion of separation and fear. This is what becomes possible for you when you stop trying to get something from life, and you start recognizing yourself as life, expressing its infinite creativity through your unique and beautiful form. The transition into this way of being isn't always dramatic or sudden. It's not a lightning strike. It happens through thousands of small, quiet moments of recognition. It happens through thousands of tiny, courageous choices. It is the moment-by-moment choice to align with love rather than fear, to align with truth rather than illusion, to align with presence rather than distraction. Every single moment you choose to respond to a situation from your deeper quantum understanding rather than from your old conditioned patterns, you are contributing to this profound transformation. Every time you meet another person with genuine curiosity and presence rather than with judgment or projection, you are practicing being consciousness in action. Every time you respond to a difficult challenge with trust and curiosity rather than with resistance and fear, you are embodying the divine intelligence that creates solutions through apparent problems. And every time you choose to see a difficult person not as an enemy to defend against, but as consciousness exploring the experience of limitation, you are becoming a synchronicity for their awakening as well as your own. You become what I call a quantum activist. You become someone who creates profound change, not through force, not through argument, not through persuasion, but through the simple, radical, earth-shattering power of your own embodied authenticity. You transform the world not by fighting it, but by becoming so completely aligned with your true nature that your very existence challenges the illusions that others are living in. Your presence becomes an invitation. Your life becomes a permission slip for others to remember their own true nature. This is how consciousness evolves the human experience, not through dramatic revolutions, but through the steady, quiet, powerful accumulation of individual humans who have remembered who they are and who have learned to live from that recognition. Each person who embodies this quantum understanding creates an energetic template. They anchor a new frequency on the planet. This template makes it easier for every other person to access similar states of awareness. Think again about the people in your life who have influenced your spiritual development. They didn't convince you to believe something new. They didn't argue you into a new perspective. They simply embodied something. They embodied an authenticity, a peace, a truth that awakened a recognition in you. Their presence reminded you of what you already knew deep down, but had forgotten. They were the living, breathing proof that the transformation you sensed was possible actually was possible. Now, you have the opportunity and indeed the responsibility to become that catalyst for others, not by preaching, not by teaching, not by trying to fix or save anyone, but by living so authentically, so fully, from your own recognition of consciousness that your life itself becomes a silent, powerful invitation for others to remember their own true nature. This is the ripple effect of embodied awakening. Each person who steps into the full recognition of their nature as consciousness creates energetic waves that influence countless other beings, most of whom they will never even meet. Your individual transformation becomes a profound gift to the collective evolution of human awareness. But this embodiment, it is not a final destination you arrive at. It is not a certificate you earn. It is a continuous, moment-by-moment practice. It is the continuous choice to prioritize authenticity over conformity, to choose truth over comfort, to choose presence over distraction, to choose love over fear. It is the ongoing, courageous commitment to let consciousness express its full spectrum through your human experience. And this includes the parts that feel messy. It includes the parts that feel incomplete, challenging, or unspiritual. Most people think enlightenment or awakening means transcending human emotions. They think it means avoiding difficult experiences and maintaining some kind of elevated, permanent state of bliss. But true embodied awakening means the opposite. It means welcoming the full range of the human experience. It means recognizing all of it as consciousness, exploring every possible frequency of awareness through your specific, unique nervous system. This means that your anger, when it arises, can be recognized. It is consciousness exploring the energy of a boundary or the righteous response to injustice. Your sadness can be recognized. It is consciousness experiencing the profound beauty of an open heart that cares deeply about the world. Your fear can be recognized. It is consciousness investigating the edges of expansion and growth. Your joy can be recognized. It is consciousness celebrating its own infinite creativity through your unique expression. Nothing is excluded. Nothing is wrong. No emotion is too low. No experience too messy. No challenge too difficult for consciousness to explore through your human life. This is the ultimate freedom. Not freedom from the human experience, but the freedom within it. This transformation, this remembrance, does not happen in isolation. This is a crucial point that many spiritual teachings miss. Consciousness awakens to itself through relationship. It awakens through encounter. It awakens through the dynamic quantum interaction between apparently separate points of awareness. You cannot fully embody your true nature alone in a cave. You need the mirror of other consciousness. You need it to reflect back to you the depth, the beauty, and the blind spots of what you are. This is why community becomes so essential as you deepen into this recognition, but not just any community, not a community built around shared, rigid beliefs or common surface-level interests. We need a community created through a shared commitment, a commitment to authenticity, a commitment to truth, a commitment to the courageous embodiment of our highest, deepest understanding. We need a community that exists to support each member's unique individual expression of consciousness, while simultaneously recognizing the underlying, unbreakable unity that connects us all. When you gather with others who are committed to this level of recognition, something truly magical happens. The quantum field in that space becomes amplified. Insights that might take an individual years to access can emerge spontaneously in a single group conversation. Healing that seemed impossible when you were alone becomes effortless in the presence of others who are holding the frequency of whole-ness for you. Synchronicities, magic, and miracles begin to multiply exponentially. Why? Because consciousness loves to recognize itself through multiple aligned expressions simultaneously. This is why building this particular community of quantum reflection is so vital. It is not just another spiritual group or a discussion forum. It is intended as a living, breathing laboratory. A laboratory where consciousness can explore its own infinite potential through countless diverse human expressions. This is a space where your individual awakening becomes fuel for our collective transformation, and in turn, our collective recognition supports and stabilizes your personal embodiment. I have witnessed transformations in people that seemed miraculous until I understood how consciousness operates through an aligned community field. I have seen lifelong, debilitating patterns of fear and self-doubt dissolve overnight, simply because someone finally felt truly seen and recognized by others who perceived their authentic divine nature. I have watched creative gifts that had been dormant for decades burst forth, activated by the simple encouragement of a community that celebrates unique expression rather than judging it. I have seen people discover their life's purpose, not through solitary soul-searching, but through the clear, loving reflection of a community that could recognize their gifts long before they could see them in themselves. This is the power of the unified field. This is what becomes possible when consciousness recognizes itself through multiple expressions at once. The limitations that seem insurmountable from an individual perspective simply dissolve when addressed from the expanded awareness of a conscious, loving community. This is the invitation. This is the frequency we are building together. We are not trying to transcend the human experience or escape into some ethereal realm of pure, formless consciousness. We are exploring how to be fully, gloriously human while simultaneously recognizing our infinite divine nature. We are investigating how to live authentic lives in a world that often rewards conformity. We are learning how to speak our truth in relationships that may have been built on pretense. We are discovering how to create from pure inspiration in systems that are designed around fear and survival. This is applied spirituality. This is consciousness in action, moving through real human lives that are dealing with real human challenges. This is what it looks like when awakening stops being a personal, private hobby and becomes a powerful, undeniable force for planetary transformation. For the next 30 days, I invite you to a final practice. Live as if you are consciousness, exploring what it is like to be you, not as a mental concept or a philosophical idea, but as a lived, embodied reality. Let this single recognition inform how you respond to every situation. When someone irritates you, recognize it. This is consciousness exploring the experience of irritation through my nervous system. When you feel profound joy, recognize it. This is consciousness celebrating its own nature through my emotional body. When you face a difficult choice, recognize it. This is consciousness exploring the energy of decision through my specific circumstances. Don't try to be perfect at this. Simply let this recognition flavor your experience. Let it be a background frequency that influences everything. And then, just notice what happens. Notice how this perspective changes the quality of your relationships. Notice how it affects your creative expression. Notice how it dissolves judgment, especially judgment against yourself. You were supposed to find this message because consciousness was ready to recognize itself more fully through your unique perspective. You won the game the moment you chose to listen with an open heart. The dance continues, but now you recognize yourself as both the dancer and the dance. The mystery deepens, but now you know you are both the question and the answer. Welcome home to what you have always been. If you're ready to expand your consciousness and step into your next quantum leap, subscribe now. Leave a comment below with the one word that captures the shift you are choosing to embody, and share this message with someone ready to awaken.